and we'll see what happens. It looks like we're live, so we'll just get into it. So thank you, everybody, and welcome to the Upland Down Under Podcast. Tonight's show's recording live on Thursday, 16th of May at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. On tonight's show, we're going to catch up on the Upland market floors and check in on the neighbourhood ratings for May. We're going to look at the final Blossom Season Pass rewards drop. Blossom season has come to an end, and the countdown is on, of course, for the commencement of Genesis season. Speaking of which, the Genesis Week hackathon finalists have been announced, and speculation on the destination for the Genesis Week city release continues to build. The main topic for tonight's show is whiteout. The push to bring on more Layer 2 opportunities in Upland has never been stronger, yet the stability of the Layer 1 foundation continues to rapidly deteriorate, and whitescreen crashes have become ubiquitous on the mobile app. What should or what could be done about it? We've got QIPS on the potential release of fantasy cities, the slow death of FOMO-fueled vanilla mode city releases, and what's Uplandbureau up to in Kansas. And of course, we'll take a look at another Upland community member spotlight, care of the Dynamic Node Builders team. And we'll give away a whopping 75,000 UPX this week and a Samurai Aquatics map asset, which takes the 2024 giveaway tally to 700,000 UPX and 41 map assets. All that and more on this, the Upland Down Under podcast. If you're wondering how you can take part in the now live streaming of this podcast, assuming that this all doesn't crash and burn on the back end, I dropped the link to the live stream of the NBA server Thursday nights at about 6:45 p.m. AEST, unless I'm running late like I am tonight. And of course, you should now be able to keep your eyes out on the associated YouTube and X feeds of mine. Speaking of which, oh no, look, we're not a go live. What's this? Try again. Error occurred. Oh, well, something's going on. I'm assuming we're live, but we'll see what happens. We have to run the disclaimer. Let's see what happens when I put... Maybe that worked. I don't know. That's all fun and games. All right, with that all being said and that out of the way, let's get stuck into the Breaking Badly news and take a look at what's currently happening in the Upland markets. Now, I played around with this week, and I tried to, I don't know, fancy it up a bit to give a bit more info so you can look at it from a glance. Let's see, that's there. Yep. What have we got? The floor markups here. That's what I played around with before. That's kind of why I was running late. I was getting that all sorted up. So I've got that now. So anything that is 100% or more should be in green. Anything that's, I think I put it as under 100 but above 50 is orange. And then we go into kind of a little bit red between 50 and 30. Anything under 30 is the dark red with the white text. So yeah, look at that. Now we're well and truly in the 25s, 25% USD markups in Kansas, Las Vegas, Nashville, and then we've also got 27% in London, Los Angeles, Oakland, 28% in Porto, Queens, Rio. Holy moly. And then there's 30% in Chicago and Cleveland, and then a bunch of oranges there as well. Yes. And falling by the looks of it too. So what's happening in the actual cities? There were some massive numbers here. Arlington down 15% on the USD, was $6.70 last week, now down under $5.70. Berlin up on the UPX, down on the USD. Somebody's buying there for UPX and selling for USD, obviously. The Bronx, on the other hand, is down on the UPX 7%. Was 11,300 last week, down to 10,500 this week, but it's up 15.7% on the USD. Was $3.89 last week, now $4.50. Buenos Aires, big jump on the UPX, up 17.4%, was just under 9,000, now just under 10,500. Dallas, big jump on the USD, up 19.4%, was $5 flat last week, now just under $6. Seems to be a similar situation in Kansas, buying for UPX, selling for USD, was 8,200 last week, now 8,900, was $3.50, and that's dropped down to the floor at $3. London's had a bit of a boost on the USD, up 14.3% from $7 to $8. Miami, probably a bit of buying for UPX, selling for USD action there as well, down 14.8% on the UPX. Was just under 15,000, now 12,700, and was $5.40, now just under $5.70. New Orleans getting smashed on the USD, down 21% to the $3 floor. Same for Oakland, was $3.47, now $3. A lot of $3 floors kind of getting very well established now. Rutherford, big drop, almost 20% drop on the UPX, was just under 56,000 last week, now 45,000 flat. Santa Clara up on the UPX, down on the USD. You know what that means. Yes, we were 38,888 last week, now just under, what have we got, 43,588. Yep. $17.88 as well last week, now down just under $16. And where was the big crazy one? Did I miss that? I thought there was like a whopping 50% or something. What was that one? Maybe I pressed the wrong button or something. I thought there was just a ginormous one. 20%, 14%. Oh, there it is there. Bermuda. That's what I was thinking of. Up 50.5% on the UPX, was 99,000 UPX last week. The floor there apparently is 149,000. Holy moly. 90-day averages, no surprises that that's dropped after the Sparklet airdrop, of course. Down 2.8% on the transaction volume and down 2.3% on the trading volume. Unique active wallets also down 11.8%, back under 77,000 there. And total unminted properties, this is a weird one. I had to look at this twice. Was 284,591 properties last week, now just under 298,000. Boost of 12,997. Was there a sneaky Stockton Trenton release or something? You know anything about that? Smiling Man? No?
No, Buellman's the one to ask for that. I don't know. No idea.
Yeah. You are live. Oh, thanks, Wally. Thank you for telling me that. It seems to be X is the one that's not working. We'll see what happens. Oh, well. So, yes, big stuff happening all over the place, but it seems to be a lot of buying for UPX, selling for USD, or I guess that could work on the flip side too, but yeah, a lot of $3 floors getting established. There's a bit of chatter backwards and forwards in the Upland General, or it might have been Twitter actually, X, through the week. If there was no $3 floor, where do you think we would be at? I think we'd be in the 50-cent range myself. I think she'd be absolutely smashed. Yes. All right, we'll move on. The neighbourhood ratings. This is the very last time I'm going to focus on late neighbourhood ratings, as I said last week. Same for the whatchamacallits, the season pass rewards. That this is the last week I'm going to do that, because look, we're bloody, halfway through the month and they still haven't removed Quailwood from the website. I know the website's down for maintenance or something, so I'm not even sure if this has been updated. It probably not, but this is not the website link. This is the other one that was out there that people were getting. People were getting this link from the CMs to go and check it out. So, but Quailwood's still on there, which is kind of frustrating. So yes, we would assume Quailwood got last month. Greenwich Village currently leading this month. Bayswater just behind. Praia de Bandera. I don't think anything's changed there within the top 10. Very little at all. So yep. Not going to focus on that anymore unless something radical happens, like they bring in the second stage neighbourhood ratings, yada, yada, yada. Now, we'll move on over to the final Blossom season pass. Now, Swally, did you see Elslack's video on this? His little cat turd video?
Yeah, he downgraded it from a cow turd to a cat turd or something like that.
My God, I laughed my ass off when I read that little cat turd. That's funny. All right, let's check out what they got. I kind of just shook my head when I saw it. So what do we got? I believe you've only got two things. You've got a Cosmic Vibe balloon and then a Nautical Sky background. That was it. Very thin on the ground for poor old Week 7 drops.
Absolutely pathetic.
Yes. So, yeah, there's nothing that I saw this season that's come anywhere close to tempting me to buy the next season's pass, which is, what do you want to say? Is it frustrating? Is it disappointing? Is it, not good enough? However you want to spin it.
I don't know. I think I'll go one more purely because it's Genesis season, so make it Strike 3, I guess. And just see what they come out with. I'd like to support Upland. I mean, I whinge a bit when things don't go my way, which is going to happen. 30 to 50,000 players, we're all not going to be happy with every decision they make. So I do try to support Upland as best I can when I can. So, and to me, this is one way of just supporting them, even if I don't necessarily like what they're doing with the passes. I would like to see improvement. I'm not going to keep doing it if it doesn't get better. And this season's definitely worse than Frost season.
Well, that's a good point, maybe. Yeah, if they're ever going to do something a bit more exciting and lavish and that, you would think it would be that Genesis season, wouldn't you? So, maybe.
Yeah, I'll say it, but it won't happen.
Yeah, anyway. Not getting my $7. I'm way too stubborn. Once I set my mind to something, I am an extremely stubborn little bastard. So, yes. Anyhow, so moving on, the Genesis Week hackathon. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I missed ahead there. I skipped ahead. So, yeah, we're looking ahead to Genesis season. Now, if you don't know what all of that is, of course, we have a bit of a breather now, a couple of weeks in between seasons. So, this is the old unveiling new gamified earnings missions post that was out there. And where's the graphic that I want to have a look at? Yeah, this one. So Blossom season has just finished, May 15th. So yeah, we've got a couple of weeks till Genesis season kicks off. Now, this is probably a note to self as well. I don't believe they've put it out there what structure ornaments are associated with Genesis Week yet, have they? Have I missed that?
No, most of the ornaments have a date in them, so there is quite a few that are available. So a lot of those ones that were made with like the spark on top or the world and stuff like that, a lot of them are Genesis ones. So there's plenty out there already, so you can already start planning ahead and start getting that going. But like I keep saying, I'm not going to participate in that competition until they make it more fun. At the moment, I've been saying for 2 seasons now, it's just boring as batshit, and I'd love to see them gamified a bit more with different levels, with different points, with different collections and everything. And even to the rarity of the structural ornament, like if you've got a 1 of 10 or something, that should be worth more points than one that's 1 of 1,000. Anyway.
Yeah, you would think so, eh?
But I'll do them 1 or 2 on just for because no doubt they'll have that gamified earnings part.
Yeah. Yeah, so why am I saying there's a bit of a note to self? Well, I think I've got 40 or 50 of one of those Genesis structure ornaments. I just went crazy and bought them all up for Mid-10 Terrace. That's before the whole crate situation kicked in, of course. I do believe I have them all listed in my structure ornament showroom for sale. If you're in a similar position, or if you have old block explorers that may be associated with Genesis Week, the Genesis Week's past, you may want to think about repricing those. Either up or down, depends if you want to go for the quick sale, or if you don't want to sell things too cheap comparatively to what else is out there in the market. So yeah, maybe worth a bit of a look into. All right, now I started to say this, but we'll finish that off now. So yeah, the hackathon finalists were announced. X1 has posted here. We're thrilled to announce the finalists for the Upland Hackathon. We had a ton of great submissions, and it was incredibly tough to narrow it down to just 5. Thank you to everyone who participated and submitted your amazing projects. Congratulations to our finalists. Upland Aliens by iPhilly team. That's Dr. Tid. He's iPhilly. Upzoo by Desjack and team. Next World by Jay Sawyer and team. Doc Jelly's Sugar Rush by TS MHRV and team. And Imagine Build Belong mobile app by YK2012 and team. Few sneaky peeky bits and pieces of those getting shared in the Upland Discord, of course, but also a fair bit on X, on the old Twitter, if you want to check that out. So I'm sure we'll get more updates as they kind of release things, bits and pieces, as they get closer and closer to Genesis Week, or who knows, maybe they're going to keep it all under wraps so they can go gangbusters for the actual finalists there. Now, there has been talk through the week. We were told that wasn't going to be live streamed, but apparently it may be going to be recorded and then put out there. I hope that at the very least that they do that. It'd be a shame to miss out on that, because I can't go, and Swally, you're not going, so there's plenty of people can't go, so it's nice to stay up to date a little bit.
I'd love to go.
Yeah. There was a tweet, I think it might have been Coach Funk from the HD Collective put a tweet out saying, are you going to Genesis Week? Or why aren't you going to Genesis Week? And I posted a screenshot of what the flights were going to cost. It was 50 hours of travel with all of the stayovers from here, and it was going to be $3,000 return for me. Obviously, I'm not going to go on an international bloody holiday by myself. I'd always take the family, so $15,000, 50 hours of travel each way. So after that, he was like, yeah, that'll do it.
You can spend more time on the plane than at G-Week.
Like literally 100 hours of travel or more. Freaking madness. You could probably get a shorter stopovers than that, but the price jacks up like crazy. So, what do? You just say, not this year. Computer says no. Or the budget says no. All right, we're going to race through it lickety-split tonight because, and apologies to LSlack and a whole bunch of people that I've been really slack on this week. I've just had so much crap going on in real life. The old Metaverse, bunch of construction work going on at home, and it's been pissing down rain and all sorts of dramas. So, been staying up out there in the dark, getting up in the dark, slaving away in the old meat suit. So apologies, I will catch up. Eventually, one day soon, maybe, probably, as shout out to Bueller Man likes to say. All right, now we're racing ahead. The next point I got here is speculation is building on the destination for the Genesis Week City release. Bit of chatter building as far as all that goes. Put a couple of questions here. What do you think it might be? What do you hope it is? What do you think, Swally? Are you on the Paris train? Or what do you think? We're sticking to some bloody...
everyone's saying it, so that makes me think that Upland will take a left turn and do something entirely different. We've seen that many times before, so... I think the more people think it's Paris, I think the more it's not going to be.
So what do you think it might be?
Well, we all were pretty sure last year we ended up with Berlin, didn't we? So I've been trying to work out if I'm even going to go to the next one because I've got so many things I need to buy in Washington, and I'm like, is it really worth going to the next release? Like, what am I going to get? So, to be honest, I really don't care. I think it's probably going to be my first release that I don't go to. I just don't know. I mean, I'm with everyone else. I can't see how it's not Paris, but that's, like I said, that's why I think it's not going to be, because we think it is.
Yeah, I think Paris is pure speculation. I didn't really... I mean, it was interesting. Like some of the pieces that Shackleton put together and a few other pieces people put together kind of make sense, but yeah, they like to throw curveballs.
Paris later in the year would make more sense around the Olympics, so...
Yeah.
But I don't know whether they think like that or not. I know they don't have any partnership with the Olympics or anything, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it is another European city. What do I hope it is? I hope it's something different. Just not another bloody US city.
Sydney.
Sydney, yeah, I don't see it.
No.
That would be cool if they did.
Get up at 2 a.m. to
Wollongong
Sydney.
or somebody that, somewhere really, obscure. It'd be great if it was somewhere, Africa, somewhere else in Asia, India. I don't know, somewhere like that.
You don't think it'd just be an expansion?
For Genesis Week City release?
Yeah, I don't think it will be, but
I think so.
It wouldn't be exciting.
Imagine if they did, okay, we're expanding Las Vegas, because they just did all of those bundle sales trying to mop up the floor there. Imagine, okay, now that Las Vegas has minted out all the properties, now we have to expand it. That'd be freaking
I was
hilarious.
thinking of that bundle sales had anything to do with that 12,000, but the numbers doesn't make sense. A couple of hundred packages with 3 in doesn't make up the 12,000 property, so there must be something.
Yeah, well, they sneakily release new neighbourhoods in Trenton and Stockton every now and then. Yeah. So. Or it could be that the data from last week still hadn't caught up with everything that was going on in DC. Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. We got a few in chat. What do you think? What do you think the next city release might be, or what do you wish it was? Any wild predictions? No. Oh, if you come up with it, patch it in, and we'll see how we go. We'll plug it out there. All right, racing through it. As I said, I sat down this afternoon to, usually when I'm getting ready for the show, the first thing that comes to mind for the main topic for the show is the thumbnail. Usually there's something specific going on in the community or events or whatever that comes straight to mind, and I do the thumbnail, and that kind of helps inspire everything else. But I drew a complete blank this week. And then I was thinking I was drawing a complete blank, like my brain was all whited out, and then I thought, oh, hang on, whiteout. And there was a bit of chatter backwards and forwards through the week on this. So, yes, we do know that Upland is pushing more and more for Layer 2 opportunities. That goes with the Genesis Week hackathon. They're all going to be Layer 2 stuff that's going to go on there. So they're pushing it internally within the community. They're pushing it wider, trying to get more partners and whatnot on board. But as I have been saying and whining and complaining and kind of starting to freak out more and more about, the stability of the layer 1 foundation of Upland continues to just rapidly deteriorate. I don't have an old iPhone by any stretch of the imagination. It's a fairly recent one. The app's up to date. My phone's not loaded up with crap, but the white screen crashes in the Upland mobile app is just becoming like absolutely outrageous. Now, previously, a lot of that had to do with moving map assets, but Elslack, as part of the campaign he was running, he listed a few things in his showroom for me to pick up, and I got in my vehicle, and just even doing any sort of stuff with the vehicle, I was white screen crashing on that. Yeah. What do you think, Swally? Now that you're treasure hunting madman on the mobile, have you noticed an increase, or is it just consistently as bad, or you don't notice it?
It can require refreshing a bit. I still use the PC to treasure hunt. I don't do it on the mobile. I use an emulator, which is a mobile on the PC.
Yep.
It does. I tend to refresh it quite a bit anyway for that thing. I do notice when I am on my mobile, it does. I get the white screen crash, especially with anything to do with chat. I can never look at their announcements on their chat page. I always have to go to Discord because anytime I try and scroll down to it, it just crashes.
Yeah. That's right.
So yeah, but I think the trick to that is to shut down the app and then reopen it, and not have it like running in the background, and then just bring it up, so to speak. But yeah, like I said, I still use the PC 95% of the time, so I don't really have your issue as such. It's definitely more stable.
The other point. Yeah, that was the other point that I was going to raise. Like, even the in-game chat function, like if you look at the announcement page, now for me it's crashing every time.
Yeah, I can't. I even try and slowly scroll down, and it just won't. It'll do 1 or 2 posts, and then I'll probably need to get past 10 to get to the last one, and it just won't get there.
Yep.
So I don't even try. I just go to Discord.
Yeah, it's concerning. I find it extremely concerning coming from the mobile. But yeah, it's not going to get better. You can't ignore it. You can't ignore optimization. You have to put the time, the energy, the money into it.
I mean, it's not good when you consider the vast majority, especially newer or lower end players, probably aren't using Discord, so they're relying on that chat, and if that's what chat's doing, they're not going to stick around.
Yeah. Yeah, I said that a while ago. Like, if I had downloaded this game now, and exactly what you've said. You scroll around, and then all of these crashes where you just walk away. But now sometimes I don't even notice it. You're almost preempting the crash. So you'll click on something knowing it's going to crash, so you don't bother clicking on that property card or something. You just wait till it crashes because you know your block explorer and everything's going to be reset. So, yeah, I find it very, very concerning because, it's not going to get better. And again, you raise these sort of issues, and some people's responses are, we'll just turn off 3D. just turn off high vis graphics or whatever it is. What's the purpose of?
I have all of them
well,
turned
if you're
off
treasure hunting, yeah.
But I have on my phone. I always have them all turned off. It's only on my normal PC browser that I have everything turned on, so I can see all my buildings and stuff like that. But on my mobile phone, I'm treasure hunting from time to time, so everything's turned off there. And on my emulator, everything's turned off there. I don't have too many dramas with the emulator, but other than it's just super laggy. It is really, really laggy. Which I find
sending or just everything?
Just everything. I click on something and almost the standard is almost one full revolution of the circle thing that goes around. But I'll have times where it'll sit there and I'll wait 20, 30 seconds for it to accept my send or something like that. And I mean, I only need a minute or two for each treasure hunt in Washington, so it doesn't bother me too much, but it's just super laggy. And the mobile phone isn't much better. Like when I'm using it, it's still laggy as well compared to what the browser used to be like. So if they ever bring back the browser, it'd be my happiest day in Upland.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's a Metaverse super app. We want the entirety of the map to be full of buildings and map assets and totems and cars and racetracks and this, that, and the other thing, but it just cannot handle it, even at this kind of, in air quotes, early stage. Well, we've already seen the explosion of UGC map assets and structure ornaments and this, that, and the other thing, and there has to be related, like the level of widescreen crashes has to be correlated in there somewhere, but the UGC and even the wider community at present is still quite tiny. Well, what happens if we do go mainstream and we're talking about, a couple of 100,000 daily active users and, 5-10% of those are UGC creators and the map is getting expanded out, buildings going up everywhere. It's just going to be, we're going to play we're asking for dark mode, we're going to get ultra white mode. Yeah, it's just bizarro. So, yeah, I imagine they are doing something on the back end. Well, you'd like to think they are, but there's not a lot of evidence that that's coming through.
I'm not confident they are. I think there's just a lot of focus on Sparklet and not much else.
Yeah, that's like I said, it's very concerning for me personally, because I know even from, like, I'm a hobby game programmer from way back in the day, and even my shitty old spaghetti code, one of the lessons I learnt there was, if you have a problem, you just got to stop development and go back and fix it, because it's not going to go away. No. That's where you start getting all these weird bugs and all sorts of things, and you go back and try and spaghetti it all together with Band-Aids, and it just makes it an absolute mess. Especially if you're dealing with, I can imagine where almost 5 years of development has been completed. They're about to start their 6th year of development. I can't imagine they've had the same developers that entire time. So unless they've really well coded, commented all their code, it'd be the same situation as me going back and looking up my old shitty code, just trying to work out what the hell's going on. A freaking mess. Yes. Oh, Caesar, he's been vicious in chat. If users keep injecting the money, it works because the app was designed by the economist, not a gamer. Yeah, and I've been saying that. I've been saying that since the Telegram days. I'm like, the app itself is super fun. It's super cool. Like, I'm talking February 2020, March 2020. I was saying this in Telegram. It's super engaging, hooked me straight away. I was addicted straight away, but it needs so much more gamification. And I was saying at the time, you need a game developer, like a proper somebody who's developed games and juice, especially mobile games. It's all about the juice on mobile games. That has that experience that can gamify all these little bits and pieces, but very, very few of those ideas have ever come to fruition. Even things like, I think one of the first ones we were talking about back in the day was the direction of your block explorer. Like when you send, if you land, maybe you can spin around and you got to tap it at the right time to send it in the right direction. Or
I'd love that.
1,000 different ways.
I would so love that.
Yeah. There's so many different ways that just those little things, even throwing back to the season rewards, like as LSLAC and we've discussed previously, like having different trails and all sorts of stuff. There could be, in-app purchases where you've got a magnetized thing on your block explorer that sucks in sends because your discovery range is a little bit wider or something. There's so many ideas that could be implemented. So yes, but yeah, the white screen crashes, absolutely outrageous for me on mobile, and that's with me even pretty much stopping moving decor. So I don't know about you, but I'm quite concerned. All right, we're just going to throw back a bit because we did get a few comments come through about the city releases. Blue Devil, which I believe that came through on the YouTubes. Speaking of which, if you are on the YouTubes, I don't really know what the hell I'm doing with this live situation just as of yet. So if you're listening or watching over on YouTube, can you please post a comment if you can so it pops up for me so I know to add your name to the live participants giveaway wheel. I can see the ones that are in the actual StreamYard thing, but I can't really clearly see the ones over on YouTube. I've got King Cody and Blue Devil there at the moment. So Blue Devil says Philadelphia, US City, boo. Boring. I take it you're from there. 6 Week 6 has said I wish it'd be something interesting, not in North America. And that's about it. Yeah. I think we're all on the same page there.
What did we joke about last week? The moon. Let's go to the moon.
Oh, we've got a QIPS about that coming right up, actually. So yeah, hold that thought.
Copy.
Yeah. So all right, we'll move on with that and keep that in mind. The what should or could be done about it, and the what city release you think it might be for Genesis Week. That's going to come up here in a bit as well. So yes, this week's QIPS, if you have an Upland-related question, insight, provocation, or statement that we can dive into on the weekly Upland Down Under podcast, very easy to do. There's a link to the QIPS Google form in the description. If you fill that out and you include your in-game name in your submission and it's used on the show, you win yourself some kind of prize. Pretty well that's established as 10,000 UPX. There's a few of these players that just banging them out week after week, really good questions and whatnot, and they're just banking all the UPX, so good on you. And speaking of that, this week we're going to start off with a statement from Cernus4 who says, the release of Bermuda almost rang of a possible fantasy release, but in reality was still based on a real place on the map. He goes on to ask, would players enjoy or frown upon the idea of having an actual exception to this real-world mapping by including a true fantasy release at some point, like maybe release the North Pole as Santa's workshop and properties for elves and gnomes and such, or Gotham City or other fantasy cities? He goes on to say, also, in case Upland does eventually go into outer space, there we go, Swally, should Upland fantasize about what might be included in conceiving of city releases or other territorial releases, or should any such releases be based on actual specific lands and try to provide some scientific basis for plotting, property plots and such? So there's two kind of points there. Should we go fantasy? And if we do, should it kind of follow the same kind of conventions as our current system? I don't know. What do you reckon?
Fantasy sounds interesting. I personally, I'm thinking no. Like Upland's built on real world stuff or real life stuff. So I'm like in Gotham City, if I understand it correctly, it's just New York anyway. So where would you put it? Like if you put it anywhere but New York, it wouldn't make sense. So in terms of fantasy, probably not. In terms of exploring to space, why not? It's real. I mean, the moon's pretty well mapped out, so I'm sure they could divide that up into sections that you can buy. So yeah, that would be super exciting. And then why stop at the moon? There's 9 planets and stars and stuff. I mean, sky's the limit. But I mean, I don't know. Fantasy? No, I don't think so. Leave that to other failed what do you call it?
Failed metaverses or something?
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, there's 1,000 of them. Let them do the fantasy stuff. Upland stick into real world.
Yep. 6 Week 6 in chat said, or they could go historical, like Atlantis, something like that. Yeah. personally, do I like the idea? I guess I'm a bit on the fence, but you know what it would be a perfect idea for? A freaking community vote. Community vote on it. Should we go fantasy?
Don't know if I trust the community on that one.
Too worried we're going to get a Landy McLand face to go to? Yes.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I kind of like your angle there. Maybe not full-on fantasy realm, but yeah, maybe the moon or something like that. Yeah, for sure. And, you know, they want to sell stuff for USD. They want to keep the lights on the office. Well, imagine selling seats on a shuttle that takes you to the moon, and it's a very rare opportunity to get on that, and you're the only ones that are going to be able to mint in a certain quadrant or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yes. 666 in chat has said, got to get the Earth working first. Yeah, hallelujah.
I agree with that.
Throwback. Yeah.
And maybe the multi-metaverse from Caesar. I was just thinking that's almost like a parallel universe type thing, isn't it? So,
yeah.
Don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Just, yeah, I'm not sold.
I think in that case, like Upland does have partnerships with these, well, not partnerships, but they do have relationships with some of these other metaverses through the WEB3 and all that sort of stuff. So maybe just a portal where you could go through, and if you wanted to buy lands, but then, I don't know, I think one of the best things about Upland is how simplified that whole purchasing land process is. Yes, the prices have jacked up considerably, but compare that to other metaverses that are out there, Decentraland, the Sandbox, and yada yada yada. And those, you're talking thousands and thousands to buy those. You're not talking a few dollars here and there. So could be a case of careful what you wish for with that sort of situation. But fantasy, yeah, I'm not totally against it. Could be a bit of fun, as long as that doesn't become the norm.
Yeah, but then you've got to start worrying about licensings and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, there's always more to the story, isn't there?
Well, we can't even have a avatar or something that's an IP, so having a city that is.
Yeah, true. I like Cernus's point there too. Maybe like the North Pole for Santa's workshop. Yeah, that could be fun. Something like that. Hopefully they don't, directly copy it. Like Sparklet gives you wings and all that sort of stuff. They've got to be able to mix it up a little bit to avoid those sorts of things. But yeah, not opposed to the idea. Good one, Cernus 4. All right, next up we've got Angry Ursia, who's also a rampant QIPS submitter. Angry asks, can Upland expect diminishing returns from the FOMO city release in vanilla mode style/method? Would switching to a city release method that allowed more time for planning ahead or that required more commitment from players be better in the long run? I think there is a problem with the property market, and fixing it can be best accomplished through changes to how cities are released. So, is the current FOMO-fueled vanilla style? I think that's a dying thing, isn't it? Certainly seems to be from the people that I speak to, and even yourself. You're not even sure you're going to go to this next city release, whatever it is.
I guess for the more established players, but I think that's what they want. I think they want these releases to be more for the newer players than the established players. So players, especially with like your account, you're only interested in those collection properties, so chances of minting an ultra rare anyway are next to none. So just worry about the release where it gives the new players that opportunity and tries to level the playing field as best they can. So with the lack of research and time to work it out, and just a frenzy, a free for all to mint, but not when the average price is 77,000.
Yeah, but then they've come out and said multiple times that new city releases aren't for new players. So,
not the recent ones, but I mean there are some, and cities like Sao Paulo and Rio and all of that were new players, and you saw those mint out really fast because they were cheap.
Yeah.
Washington, if you had an average price of say 5,000 instead of 77, it would have minted out within the hour. As it is, it won't mint out within the year. I'd say it'd be several years before they expand it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, and I'd have to kind of agree with Angry's kind of suggestion here that FOMO vanilla modes are diminishing returns at present. Personally, yes, kind of what he's gone on to say there. I would love to see Upland go back to the previous system they had where the neighbourhood lines were up a week in advance, the properties were up, the property prices were up well in advance. You could plan out exactly what you wanted, and every now and then we'd have a city release where even the neighbourhoods were put out there ahead of time. You could make your plans. I remember getting up for one of the Brooklyn burns, probably the first one, and I spent probably the better part of an hour or so practicing my trajectory from. It must have been the second part of the release or something. I think it burnt in the first one, but I had one property there. But I was practicing my trajectory from one part of Brooklyn up into the Dumbo area, and I got it to the point where I knew I had to send it. Oh, it was when I owned a terminal there, so I could send as many times as I wanted to. So I knew that I had to be within this very particular line, and it was going to take like 15 minutes or something to get there if you went straight. And, I practiced it, and it all came together, and I pulled that off. That was a lot of fun. Super engaging, of course. You're talking to people in DMs about it, making plans and whatnot. Yeah, I'd love to see them try that old approach again, rather than you got no idea what the collections are, you got no idea what the prices are until people start working it out, and then property lines only come up an hour before prices come up just before. Yeah.
Well, going back to when I first started, it was always that one city, the stress tests, the one neighborhood, sorry.
Yeah.
That, and then you get one property there, so then you can do the same thing. I did that with Las Vegas and ended up in downtown. I was trying to get to that little one, which I knew, well, everyone knew it was going to be a rare or ultra rare, which it was.
Yep.
Can't remember what it's called now, the Arts or something like that. Yes, I was doing the same thing. But my point is, I don't think the diminishing returns would be anywhere near as bad or feel anywhere near as bad if the prices weren't so high. I think that's what's stopping a lot of this FOMO, this fun. People just going in and minting a stack of properties and then sticking them on the secondary market, because you take $1 million UPEX and you can buy 3-4 properties. Like, that's not fun. And you can buy 30 or 40 properties. Different story. And that's when you can speculate and buy 3 in this suburb and 3 in that suburb and move around the map and try and pick up 3, all over the place in the hope that you hit a few collections. Like, yeah, so I don't know. I wasn't around when you had everything given to you on the platter at the start of it, so I can't comment on that. But I think the prices is more to blame than the vanilla mode.
Yes. Yeah, I probably agree there as well. But yeah, I'd like to see them mix it up a bit. Because doing the same thing over and over and over, doesn't matter what you do. If you do the same thing over and over, whatever it is, I don't know, unless it's eating ice cream or something like that, it tends to get a bit boring.
Other than Stockton and Trenton, which were stealth releases and FSA cities, what's the last cheap city we've had? By cheap, I mean,
cheap.
One that, pretty much everybody can go there and have a good time, so to speak. But
with consistent, probably LA, wouldn't it? It probably goes way.
No, Rio and Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
For the international ones, so the Rio, Sao Paulo, even what's that other one? Yeah, I just haven't. Yeah, you know what I mean. Though, but they were more. Yeah. They were 18 months ago.
Yeah, I got it. There's a quote there from I think it was Levan. Check that one out. Well, Washington was 4K.
No, it wasn't average price.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, you go in a city release and you'd have a couple of 100,000, and you'd get 30, 40 properties. Bit of fun, especially if people were looking to set up areas for different node projects or whatever.
See, even Las Vegas was a little bit more expensive than I think what people were used to at the time. And then you went to Dallas, which was a real sticker shock for some people.
Yes.
Now you think 100,000 for a property that collection property was up north, like compared to Washington, that's nothing. Yep, Upland's about to go into maintenance. Actually, if you're going to go look at that property, you better do that real quick. Upland's about to shut down.
Very good. Yeah, we just got that pop up too. Right, I think that's next actually, so we'll skip ahead to that. So thank you, Angry. That was a good one too. So the next one is from Laban, another regular Quipser, who states the Map Asset Factory parking lot in Kansas for the Upland Bureau is kind of strange to look at. A lot of old assets still unmoved by their owner. He said he's clicked around a bit, and a lot of accounts are actually big accounts. Either they don't care about their assets, they don't know they've won something, or they have no clue that they have to move them. There's a lot of free space left. Will Upland force move them if the lot gets full, or will they just buy a new empty lot? Poll is open now, and he's provided the address, so I'll go share his screen on that before we get shut down here. Thank you for the heads up on that, Swally. So yes, what we're looking at here is the Upland Bureau's factory. Let's see if they've got anything in production. Nothing in production, yep. And just a crap ton of stuff all over the place. Let me see if I can go 3D on that. Yeah. So what are we looking at here? Bloody gingerbread heads.
Yeah, so the stuff in those little cats in the front row are all Upland owned, but a lot of the stuff behind that first 3 rows is player owned and just sitting there.
Yeah, well, look at those. They cost a fortune back in the day, these things.
Well, they've not sold or anything. They're all Uplandbureau.
Closer mints, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Well, you're talking about the inventory lot filling up. That's a pretty bloody big inventory lot.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right, absolutely right there. You can tell that this area here that has all the gaps, those are the ones that have been picked up, as you said. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, no, interesting. It's not very intuitive. I know that. Like when that's even if you do get notified that you've won a prize, if you happen to see that. It's not super intuitive on how you go about getting that. It is a bit clunky to click around. And then try, am I going to get to the 1 mil? Come on, baby. Don't know. Yeah, so, yeah, interesting one. If you want to check that out for yourself on the back end, the property address is 1800 Southern Road, Unit B in Kansas City.
Maybe you need to nominate an address, or maybe just get sent to your residential address or something when you win something. They drop stuff into your wallet now anyway. Why not just drop their map assets into your nominated address or something like that? I'm sure that's something they'll do. Not a biggie.
Might be a bit hard in some cases because I know, like mine's pretty well loaded. It might not fit much in there. Oh no, I did move some stuff. What did I move from there? Oh, I had a whole bunch of cars. That's what I moved out.
Yeah, but maybe you need to.
I'm still waiting.
So maybe you need to nominate a postal address or something.
Postal address, yeah, that'd be good. Like a drop address, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm still waiting to open my bloody car showroom over here in San Francisco, but they're not able to apply for them in the bloody thingy-bobby, which sucks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Everything's been really quick lately with any of those sort of applications. Even my structural ornament factory application was turned around in a day or two. Too bad I can't build anything, but
yes,
they've been pretty good with all those MetaVenture applications.
Yes. Yeah, I want to sell a few cars. I could go and list them at somebody else's shop, of course, but it's just I'd rather just put them up there at a price that I can leave it and set and forget kind of thing. Anyhow, maybe one day. All right, cheers for that, Cernes4, Angry Ursia, and Lana. I've got in my notes, not Lana, Laban. You've all earned yourself 10,000 UPX after fees. Remember, it's very easy to submit one. There's a link to the Google form in the description. If you do so and you include your in-game name, just like Cernes, Angry, and Laban, you could win yourself some kind of prize. Right, that brings us over to the Getting to Know Community Members segment, care of Mesme and the other members of the Dynamic Node Builders team. This week they're featuring Obi-Wan PR, who is currently an executive with a net worth just under 59 million UPX with 3,040 properties and bang on 11.5 Spark when I checked it yesterday. His home residence is in the Winnetka, how do you say that? Winnetka neighborhood of LA. Let's go and have a sneaky peek at what Obi-Wan's got going on. If I can press the right buttons. Obi-Wan, where are you? There we go, Obi-Wan. Look at that for a chart. That is a dead set hodler chart, that one, if I've ever seen one. Straight up, steady as rock. Only going up, no downs. Good on you, Obi-Wan. That's what I was going to do. I was going to do a bit of snooping and find out what this big jump here was. So on the 15th of the 6th, his property's net worth was $5,097,000 and change, and jumped straight up on the same, what was it, a couple of weeks later, to 13 million. Number of properties 353, number of properties 121. So he's gone gangbusters buying up a whole bunch of stuff there. Because of the gap between the property's net worth and the mint net worth there, that's not a city release. That's kind of
UPX. Yeah.
Yeah, that's buying up secondary properties or something.
If I was to have a guess, I'd say it'd be a node.
Yeah. When you see a big jump like that, and then there's another
multiple
big jump here.
Paying overs and multiple properties, it'd be buying up one suburb, no doubt.
Yep. And same here a bit later on. 1st of March 2022, 2,200 properties, and then jumps up to 2,497. Big jump there too. But yeah, look at that, steady as.
That one will be a city release.
And away. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, so good on you, mate. All right, let's skip on. Oh, and because Obi-Wan has a Twitter account, I'll put this up too. You can go and check out what he's got going on there. It's at Obi-Wan_PR. What has he got here? I'm excited to share my first blog post with you. In this blog, I open up about my journey to the Upland Metaverse and the immersive world of Web3, from my childhood fascination with tech to navigating the complexities of blockchain. Oh, cool. I'm going to check that out myself on the back end. So yeah, get on over there, give Obi-Wan PR a follow, etc. All right, we'll move on. Have a look at his official responses to the DMB questionnaire. In-game name Obi-Wan PR, as we said. Uplander since May 2021, been around for a while. Been to Vegas? No. Tattoos? Yes. Do for a living? Connect brands with customers via experiences. Sounds interesting. One thing you will never do again: talk crypto with a banker. Pet peeve: being late. Most common internet search history: Web3. Guilty pleasure: Big Coke with ice, bucket list Spain, superpower, teleportation. Celebrity you know the most about: Nikola Tesla. And 3 Uplanders you chat with regularly: Jacqueline, Ulysses, Barrio Latino, and Juan. Good on you, mate. So that was Obi-Wan PR. If you would like to get involved in what the DMB's got going on, if you want to get your name out there, or if you would like to know more about somebody else in the community, send Mesme or any of the other Dynamic No Build members a DM, or click the link to the DMB Discord server in the description. Say good day and tell them the UDU podcast sent you. All right, that's enough of the meat potatoes, unless anybody else has something they want to spruik, spam, talk about, discuss, whine about. Put it out there for a second. Let me catch up on comments.
Did you
Tech? Yeah, I got you, mate.
Did you say that they sold out the gold pass or the gold releases for Las Vegas like almost instantly or really quickly?
No, but I did see. What did I see? That's good news for Upland. I did see that there was plenty of people in Upland General pretty happy with what they've got comparatively.
Well, I thought about it.
I mean, much butt hurt.
I've been spending all my money in Washington lately, so I didn't have anything spare. But I looked at it and there were 70 gold passes or 70 gold packages with 2 landmarks to be given out. It's not a bad little lotto ticket, is it? 1 in 35 chance, and you're buying them at roughly 50% off, and you can probably turn around and sell them for close to that anyway. So maybe 30 to 40% back in time. So it's probably not a bad, and I thought about it and went, I wouldn't mind buying 1 or 2 of these, but I just didn't have the money. $185 US. for a crack at a landmark.
About 240 or something now, money, I would guess. Off the
Yeah,
top
it's
of my
about
head.
1.5 times. Yeah, would have been nice, but yeah, the gold one sold out really quick. Silver wasn't too far behind. The bronze pretty slow, but so they've gotten something a little bit better there, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. Like I said, people seem to be pretty happy, and you always want to see that rather than people being butthurt about it. So, yeah, good on. And that reminds me too. What was that send thing that you were going to talk about? That weird send glitch or the price?
Oh, it's just related to the when Washington was released for minting. Obviously, the send fees on the day were wrong because they were set to a tier 1 when it was a tier 2 city. And there seems to be some sort of glitch there. There's a few properties, and I'm not saying a lot, like there's 28,000, roughly half of it minted. But I've come across 2 or 3 that are set, the send fees are still set above the maximum, which should be 100. So I've come across a couple. I just posted one in Uplands General. I mean, that's something that they should take care of. It's a simple thing, I assume, but it's little glitches like that shouldn't happen, but do. It's not a huge problem, but yeah, I don't know how it happens. Like, you certainly can't set it like that now, so I assume it's a hangover from when it was first released, but yeah, just little glitches like that. Yeah.
Yes. All right. We shall move on. It's giveaway times, of course. Last week's challenge was to get yourself in the NBA server, ride the lightning, and let us know what you thought about the Sparklet Gives You Wings theme. And I also asked you to drop your suggestion for an alternative Genesis Week 2024 theme, just in case the lawyers did go knock, knock, knock on an Upland's door. Plenty of entries in. Some people missed the suggestion for an alternative, so of course their name's going to go in the list for the 10,000 prize, but they didn't go into my consideration for the bonus prize. So just putting that out there. Let's give away that 10,000 UPX for the weekly challenge from last week. If I can find where the wheelie is. There it is. We'll do a shuffle, and let's see who's going to win. 10,000 UPX goes to... Oh my gosh, 6 weeks is clean enough.
Nice.
Part-time job, mate.
Lily, did you miss everything? Not everything, just most things.
Yeah. Sorry, Lily. I can put you in. Yes, so that was the weekly challenge. Now, I'll jump out of there. So that was for that one. The bonus prize, the 5,000 UpX bonus prize, I'm giving that this week to Cassastra. Her entry was a bit of a ripper, that one. There was plenty of good ones, but Cass went the extra mile here with a GIF. That's one of my favourite GIFs. Unfortunately, I believe the GIF freezes on screen share for here, but I love that GIF. Anyway, her entry was, what? That was her reaction to them borrowing a slogan instead of making their own. Maybe something like Spark. This is for an alternative slogan, of course. Sparklet ignites the crafts of your infinite metasmithing. Really rolls off the tongue, that one, doesn't it? So,
very catchy.
Good on you. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good, Cass. Good on you. So 5,000 bonus for you. So that was last week's challenge. This week's challenge, again, is to get yourself in the contest channel within the NBA server. If you don't know what the NBA server is, there's a link in the description. And in regards to the Genesis Week city release that is coming up, let us know what city you think it might be. And as we kind of discussed tonight, what city do you hope it is? If you want to go into the running for the bonus prize, just like Cass did for completing all of the bits and pieces that we asked, then you have to justify your answers. So once again, what city do you think it might be, and what city do you hope it is for the Genesis Week city release? Assuming they're going to do one. Maybe they won't. Maybe the curveball is they're not going to do a city release. They'll just find something else in USD to sell us. Who knows?
No, they've already said they're minting from 9 till 10 or something like that. It's in their agenda, isn't it?
Oh, did they? Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so make sure you justify your answers there if you want to go in for the bonus prize. And again, name or role on a list of all entrants to win 10,000 UpX after fees. And of course, every entry that goes in does get you in another entry into the 2024 end of year prize giveaway draws. Now, did you see on X through the week, I also put out a kind of a impromptu bonus kind of giveaway thing. I happened to be doing number 2s in the rush before work, and I thought I'll just go on over to Upland and check my dividends, and my Block Explorer just happened to be in a kind of very strange position, and that inspired me to put out a little bit of a bonus thing. Probably 2 TMI there, but bad luck.
You think?
So yes, I tweeted this out, captioned this. All who reply with the caption will go in the running for 25,000 UPX prize and a bonus 5,000 UPX for my selection of the best to be drawn tonight, obviously. So yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but my Block Explorer was heading right for my property on 19th Ave in, where's that? South somewhere, on the left-hand side of San Francisco. What is that neighborhood called? I'm just blanking on that. I can't go and check because it's bloody down for maintenance. But yes, got so close to my property and then it just went no, and zoinks, bounced straight off it and off into the oblivion. Sunset, thank you, Lily. Yeah, out of Sunset. So yes, plenty good. There was plenty good suggestions there, and just an absolute crap ton of entries. So I'm gonna go over to another wheel and we'll go in there. So this is for the 25,000 UPX price. Now, some people, they just tweeted their in-game name. Well, you're not going to freaking go on the entry list. Come on. You could at least put a caption in there. Some people put a caption in, but they didn't put their in-game name. For those ones, I've kind of copied them over. Most of the people who did that, I kind of know who it is. You know, Bueller Man and a few other bits and pieces, a few other people. But there was a few there that I just had no clue. So with the risk of somebody winning who I don't know who it is and I can't get in contact with them, I've kind of zoinked them out of there. But anyhow, that's enough gas bagging. Everyone wants to see who's going to win. 25,000 UPX from the X Twitter little funny piece of thing I put together while I was taking a morning shit. It goes to Lily. Well done, Lily.
Yay!
Well done, little Lily. All right, let me go back to that wheel, the other one. And I'll leave that there. Now, where are we up to? Oh, and there was a bonus 5,000 UPX prize to my favourite one on that. I'm going to give that to Vape High Guy, at High Guy Vape. His or her, I assume it's a guy. So his comment was, whoops, that isn't the water off the edge of the map I was looking for. Maybe it's over there. Now, that's probably, if anybody knows what that is, you've definitely been around for quite a while and you've definitely heard me gasbagging and whining for quite a while. City releases, Samurai Aquatics. My poor old Block Explorer is almost always starting out in the middle of a freaking ocean somewhere, right when the city release is about to happen. So that was quite a good throwback there from Vape High Guy. Good on you, mate. So he's got 5,000 bonus. Couple of honourable mentions go to Jonathan Sawyer. His caption was, someone just realised his in-laws have dropped in for a visit and has zoinked out. I actually replied to that just before we got kicked off. That would have been a good one, would have been in the running, except my in-laws are freaking awesome. They were able to put up with me for almost 5 years while I lived with them in Japan. So, yeah, I would not hesitate for them to drop around and say g'day or for me to go and see them. So, didn't quite qualify that one. And then there was another good one there. Now, this is a throwback too, and this one's multi-layered. I did pick up on the vibe here. I would say it's intentional, and if that is the case, well done to you. Barrio Latino Upland, his comment was, or his caption was, hello, do you have a moment to talk about our node and saviour, UDU? Question mark. Yeah, I did catch the vibe on that. That was a good one. So, honourable mentions to those two. That's Jonathan Sawyer and Barrio Latino Upland. If you guys are listening and you want to claim some kind of prize, send me a DM on the Discords and I'll hook you up with something. So, good on you. That was a bit of fun through the week. All right, that's pretty much all we got. We'll go back to the prize wheel. Now, we've got, of course, going live. We're going to have to work out a better system for this because we've got people live in here. We've got people live on bloody YouTube, which I don't have a freaking clue what I'm doing over there. But I did manage to write them all down, so we'll see how we go. Laban, Caesar, Swally. I don't know. Anything else you got to promote or talk about, Swally, while I'm doing this?
Sadly, no. No.
King Cody. Yep.
No, I just... For me, it's Washington and wanting to do structural ornaments, and I'm still crying that I can't. I have a factory, I have a shop, I just can't submit anything.
Yeah, that sucks. No Slack.
And it looks like the community won't be able to do... It's only speculation from some of the creators, but it looks like all the standard builds that we have won't be available for the community to use as templates or whatever you want to say it is for structural ornaments. We'll only be able to do the UGC ones.
Oh, that sucks.
Very limiting, yes, extremely limiting.
I'll put that up there. JR finally made it to a live one right when we're about to turn it off. So you're not too late, JR. I will patch you into. I will for you making the effort to first of all jump in to say that. I will patch you over and put you in for the live participants giveaway. This is for your choice of a Samurai Aquatics garden bridge or a Love Heart jacuzzi. I think I got everyone. Apologies if I, as I said, don't have a freaking clue what I'm doing with this whole live situation. Barely have a clue with what I'm doing.
Come on.
Lily! Well done.
Cleaning up.
Fire.
Well done.
Goodo. Oh, it's keeping cool. Hey, mate. Yes, well-known name, that one. All right, so that's all I've got. We touched on a few bits and pieces. As I said, it's a pretty quiet week all in all. So when it's a quiet week, the show and especially I definitely appreciate the time and the effort that people do put in to submit those QIPS. I will say there's probably 2 or 3 more there to go through. So if you do put one in, chances are it'll be used within the next couple of weeks, especially if we have like slow news weeks like we have this week. Like some of those ones that come through the night, didn't even think about some of those aspects. So that's really cool. I'm glad I started doing that a while back. Bit of fun. So just let me know if there's any issues with sometimes when I copy and paste the links over, the hyperlinks, they don't work or whatever. If there's any drama with the links not working, send me a DM and I'll hook you up with a bug hunting prize or something like that as well. Especially now that I'm kind of playing around with the live situation, it's quite a bit of a pain in the ass to set up the stream on the back end. Saves me a lot of time on the front end. Saves me a lot of time on the back end, chopping things up and waiting for them to buffer and load and all of the bullshit. So we'll see how we go. This might end up a total pile of dog shit on the back end, and we'll never do it ever again. We'll see what happens. Shout out to Swiley once again for running the numbers for us at the top of the show, and that's all I've got for this week. All the best for what's coming out. It seems to be we're very much in a calm before the storm sort of situation with Genesis Week and whatnot. They usually drop some kind of news early our Friday morning, so maybe we'll get something interesting tomorrow that we can discuss over the weekend. Anyhow, a reminder that if you are in a time zone that fits in with the Thursday night recording live streaming schedule of starting at 7 p.m. AEST and you'd like to get yourself involved, the link to the weekly live podcast will always be dropped in the NBA server about 15 minutes before the show starts. The Twitter frickin' thing didn't work tonight. It appears that the YouTube one did because a few people jumped on over from there. You should also be able to keep your eyes out over there, of course. That invitation extends to any of the channel's podcast productions. I do have the Metaverse and Beyond podcast scheduled for this weekend. Hopefully that goes ahead, and another really good one in a couple of weeks. As I said, I've got a lot of crap going on in the real life situation, so I will endeavour to get those done. Anyhow, so if you have an Upland NFT or Metaverse product, service or event to promote, then send me Ben68 a DM. Get yourself into the NBA server, which is linked in the description. I got one more button to press. Let's see if this works, and we shall catch you later.